How Biggie and Tupac went from friends to great music rivals. Dear viewers, welcome to Hip Hop MC channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more stories. Two rappers on their way to hip hop stardom became fast friends and even faster enemies, which may have led to their untimely demise. Their worlds seemed destined to collide. They were two of the most talented hip-hop rappers in the world, and they were both busy exposing the truth about the trials of street life, social injustice, and the racial divide. But the biggest difference between Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls, they represented different coasts. What became arguably the greatest rivalry in music history ended in the deaths of both artists, just as their careers skyrocketed. Tupac was shot on September 7, 1996, and died 6 days later, while Biggie, also known as Notorious B.I.G, was killed 6 months later on March 9, 1997. Neither murder has ever been solved, but one thing that's not in doubt is that they started out as friends. Tupac entered the music scene 2 years before Biggie. In 1993, Tupac was already a platinum-selling artist, so Biggie asked a drug dealer to introduce him to Tupac at a party in Los Angeles, according to a Vice excerpt from the book Original Gangstas: The Untold Story of Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Tupac Shakur and the Birth of West Coast Rap by Ben Westhoff. Pac comes into the kitchen and starts cooking for us. He's in the kitchen cooking some steaks, recalls meeting an intern named Dan Smalls, who worked with Biggie. We were drinking and smoking, and all of a sudden Pac was like, "Yo, come get it." And we went into the kitchen, and he had steaks and fries and bread and Kool-Aid. And we just sat there eating and drinking and laughing. That's where Biggie and Tupac's friendship started. There was mutual respect between the two, as well as their groups of friends. At the 1993 Budweiser Superfest at Madison Square Garden in New York City, they freestyle together. Biggie often turned to Tupac for advice in the industry, even asking him to manage his career. But Tupac hasn't mixed business with friendship. No, stay with Puffy. He will make you a star. Tupac believed Biggie had a hand in his 1994 gun down, while Tupac and Biggie had a few minor issues. Their first big falling out came when they were supposed to work together on a project for fellow rapper Lil Sean. Tupac arrived at Quad Recording Studios in Times Square on November 30, 1994, preparing to ride where Biggie and Combs were. But instead, Tupac was shot in the lobby and shot 5 times, according to the New York Times. He survived the attack, but believed Biggie might have had something to do with it, though they went upstairs to see him after the incident. Tupac said the crew looked surprised and guilty, but Puffy claimed he showed him nothing but love and concern, according to the Vice excerpt. When Tupac joined Death Row Records, the East Coast-West Coast rivalry was cemented. While incarcerated for another incident, Tupac came to believe that Biggie knew about the attack beforehand. The West Coast rapper approached Suge Knight, who offered him a spot on his Death Row Records roster. Tupac agreed, cementing the rivalry between Knight's label and Combs' Bad Boy Records. Any artist who wants to be an artist wants to stay a star and doesn't have to worry about the executive producer trying to be everything in the videos, having everything on the records. Dancing in Death Row, proclaimed Knight at that 1995 Source Awards ceremony. There was never any evidence that Biggie or Combs knew about the incident, but a few months later, Biggie's B-side single was a track titled "Who Shot Ya?", leading to Tupac's response with the song "Hit Them Up." In it, Tupac claimed he slept with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans. According to Vibe, Evans denied the claim, saying, "That's not how I do business." Fists continued to be thrown throughout their short lives, with both sides blaming each other for the deaths, while other theorists believe they may still be alive. But after Tupac's death, Biggie wanted to end the coast-to-coast fighting. "We two individual people. We waged a coastal beef. One man against one man made a whole West Coast hate a whole East Coast, and vice versa. And that really bugged me out," he said in an interview. "I've got to be the one to try to flip it, because Pac can't be the one to try to squash it, because he's gone." What are your thoughts? Let us know in the